Cold air is beginning to filter in, or should we say even colder air is beginning to filter in across the bi-state region. Let's look at the Gateway Arch here. We have some clouds still around, even a few flurries here and there, but not a whole lot in terms of substantial snow. We may see some flurries here through the overnight hours behind this front that's now pressing south and east of St. Louis. That's as the Arctic air starts spilling in from the north. Now, the breeze overnight may be a little gusty. We're not talking much more than gusts to about 20-25 miles per hour. But when you look at the temperatures that are coming our way, Des Moines right now, 10 degrees. That's a little after 9 o'clock, 10 degrees in Omaha. Temperatures around St. Louis are still in the upper 20s to lower 30s right now, and it feels like it is in the 20s for most of us at the moment. But the changes are coming, and those changes feature bitter cold temperatures for Thursday. So that's why we have our Weather Impact Alert, because this is the coldest air of the season. And while we've had some cold air and our bodies are slowly getting acclimated to this, we're not used to wind chills that may range from 5 degrees below zero north of St. Louis into the single digits into the metro area tomorrow morning and into the double digits farther south of St. Louis. It is going to be a very cold start across the bi-state region. Here's a look at what we're dealing with. One day is Weather Impact Alert Day. That is Thursday. There is another weather system over the weekend. You see the temperatures are back up into the upper 30s here for Friday and Saturday. That's after that really cold start Friday morning. But then we drop off a little bit on Sunday. Weather system comes through with more clouds and maybe a little rain-snow mix here late Saturday night and early Sunday. We don't see it as being a major system, limited in moisture, but we'll keep our eyes on it. It will cool off again a little bit for Sunday and Monday, right around freezing for the afternoon highs. Middle of next week, we finally start to see a little bit of a break. So let's get right to the wind chills. This is where the focus is and where the problems are, because tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, we're looking at some spots around zero, maybe a little below here. You go up towards Jerseyville, up towards Root House, Litchfield's at zero. These are 6 a.m. wind chills, and some of those high school kids might be getting out towards the bus stop. Sullivan and Potosi feeling like 6 degrees. It stays just bitter cold through much of the morning, but by the time we get to lunchtime, we at least get our wind chills back into the double digits. Having said that, this kind of cold weather, again, we're not accustomed to it being that cold. In the 30s around St. Louis, but again, there's the bulk of that cold air up to our north that's going to be surging in. And then you put in those wind chills, and it feels like it's 2 below right now. In Des Moines, feels like it's 4 degrees below zero. In Omaha, our wind chills are still at 29 in the metro area as of 9 o'clock. All right, so for your Thursday morning, we think temperatures are in the teens here. Again, wind chills, single digits. Looking around the region, we haven't had any big problems across the area today. And I don't think we're going to have any big problems overnight here. Basically, what you're looking at is a few snow showers here and there. We took the clouds off so you could see them, but there's very few of them expected to be across the region. Temperatures continue to drop. We'll slide back into the teens for early tomorrow and then slowly recover as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Some of those numbers north of St. Louis may be reading a little warm on the forecast. I think the areas where we have snow from St. Louis going north and northwest, where there's still a pretty decent snowpack on the ground, you're going to have a hard time getting much above 20 degrees tomorrow afternoon. So it's a cold day on Thursday. And again, we're not used to this kind of cold. Morning wind chills around zero, especially for the metro area north. Hats, gloves, coats, the big winter coats. You're going to need those extra layers as you head out the door with this bitter cold for Thursday morning. Now, it's still cold as we go into Friday morning for sure, but as we go into Friday morning, there won't be wind chills to deal with. The winds will be very much on the light side. So overall, it'll become partly cloudy, but we still have that chance for a few snow flurries around. Don't think there's going to be any accumulation. Going through tomorrow, we're finding our temperatures jumping back out of the teens to around 20 or so tomorrow afternoon, give or take a couple of degrees. We should at least get some sunshine in there tomorrow, at least some, right? So then we look here at your extended forecast going into next week. Let's focus on the Saturday, Sunday time frame, right? We have another system coming in. These fast-moving Clipper systems, they're limited with moisture. The Gulf is closed for business here for these systems, so they have to drive whatever they're going to produce from the energy and whatever limited moisture is available. So that means if anything falls from the sky, and again, this is just a suggestion, it would be very much on the light side. You notice, though, that it's keeping St. Louis on a slightly warmer path with mainly rain. That may or may not be the case if we see any precipitation at all. It could be a rain-snow mix. We'll see. Could be rain, could be snow. But as we head towards Sunday night into Monday, once again, we're a bit colder than average by a few degrees. Average would be closer to that 48 degrees that we're going to see next Wednesday. And then after that, it looks like another surge of chilly air comes our way. But the coldest of all is what we're looking at here for Thursday. This is truly frigid air that will be across the bi-state area. Just bitter cold to get out the door early in the morning. So make sure you have those extra layers. Make sure your smoke detectors have fresh batteries and are working. You know, a lot of people, we end up, usually when it gets cold like this, we have some folks where we have, furnace problems. There's carbon monoxide issues. There are fires, house fires. Those numbers go up. We want everybody to stay safe. So make sure you're doing everything you can to stay safe. And that means making sure that the smoke detectors are working for sure. All right, we look downtown. Look at those crows. Boy, we've got them downtown. They've decided to hang around. Guess they must like the cold air. Have a great night. We'll bundle up, stay warm as we go into your Thursday.